I would like to welcome Dr. Debbie Alford to this webinar, Successful Student Retention, Brownsville ISD Adult Continuing Education Consortium for Cameron County. Welcome, Dr. Alford.
Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Debbie Alford from Brownsville ISD. And if I could have a moment, I need to get my notes. There they are. I'd like to begin by giving you some history about the program. The program has been in existence in our district since the early 1980s. I come from a K-12 background. I started out as a teacher's aide right out of high school. I've been in BISD for 33 years. I've been a high school teacher, a counselor, assistant principal. I've been a middle school dean. I've been a middle school assistant principal and an elementary principal. So I do bring a lot of variety to the job. This is my 8th year at ACE, and it is my 33rd year overall. If you all could take a moment and write in the chat, tell me what your background is and how many years of experience you have in adult education. So Brownsville ISD is the fiscal agent and lead agency of the consortium. BISD provides a subcontract for IET services from Texas Southmost College and Youth Build. Cameron County's population is over 418,000, with about 273,000 over the age of 19. We're a border community with a high enrollment of immigrants. We provide subcontracts to Texas Southmost College and Youth Build for IETs. TSC this year provided certified nurse assistants, and Youth Build provides NCCER certification, CompTIA A+ certification, Microsoft certification, and CNC operator certification as well. I am having a little bit of difficulty. I'm losing my notes every time I turn the page, so I do apologize. Our consortium serves about 2,000 to 3,000 students per year. We have met or surpassed all NRS targets for the last 8 years that I have been here. This is a copy of the current enrollment as of April. At the time, we were at 99.64% of enrollment at the time, and I'm happy to report that we are at we have surpassed the enrollment requirement for this year at this time. So let's talk about some keys to successful retention. You need the right staff to sell the program to the students. Teachers are key in retention. They immediately form a bond with students, and this bond is what makes the student feel obligated to their teacher and to coming and achieving their goals. This begins in the interview process. Ask the right questions when you're interviewing teachers. Make sure that you can see that the teacher is loyal to your vision. And for those staff who are veterans, you begin selling your vision during staff meetings, in newsletters, and through professional development. Students want more than just the GED or just to learn English. We need to make them realize it. Find the gems in your staff and make it happen. You know which teachers are dedicated and want to help you and the program be successful. Keeping students motivated to come will help retention. There are a variety of ways to do this. Find what works for you and your organization, and we'll discuss celebration in a bit. Allow teachers to be a part of the decision-making. For instance, we revamped how registration and orientation had been done here for many, many years by having staff meetings to come up with a plan. Teachers take pride in their decisions. So tell me, are you the type of leader who makes all the decisions, or do you allow your staff to make decisions too? Please take a moment to discuss in the chat box. Thanks. Try to communicate your vision with your staff. Discuss the latest changes from TWC with them. Send them emails, provide them copies of AEL letters. I don't know if you are familiar with the Remind app. It is a very useful tool that you can use via email or cell phone to communicate instantly with your staff. Your staff can also use this with their students as they don't trade cell phone numbers. Use the Remind app to send out mass information quickly. Do lots of site visits and classroom walkthroughs and document your visits. We created a walkthrough form to provide feedback on the pros and cons of our visit. We also have the teachers sign the walkthrough form, and we state if we need a conference with them immediately. Yes, this all takes a lot of time, but the end results will be worth it. Put the mileage for the site visits in your budget so you get reimbursed for all the traveling around you or your supervisors will be doing. I do run a tight ship, but that's part of why our retention is so good. A teacher never knows when I will pop into their class. Aside from the walkthrough form, I also bring koozies with our information on it or my business cards, and I always speak to the class and ask them how it's going. I tell them to call me if there's ever a problem, and believe me, sometimes they do. I also take their class picture and place it on Facebook. Seeing me makes the students feel very special, and they see that I am supervising the teacher, and they realize that this program is serious. It allows me to explain to them how important their attendance is. I explain that their teachers are funded by a grant, and the grant wants me to have a certain amount of students. I tell them that if too many of them are absent from their location, I will close that location and move their teacher to another place. So they hear it straight away from me. You may ask yourself how it is possible to keep students for their required hours and even beyond. I have some practical solutions that have helped our program find success year after year. The teachers' schedules have staff meetings built in them. We are fortunate that I schedule daytime staff Monday through Thursdays for teaching, but Fridays are all mine. They are reserved for professional development and meetings. We do the same thing with the evening staff, so everyone hears the same message. Evening staff teach Monday through Wednesday, and I reserve Thursdays for their staff or PD meeting time. When I recommend someone for employment, it is part of the interview that regardless of where they are teaching, they will come to all the staff meetings. It is a part of their schedule, so try to work this into your budget for your staff, for your teachers. When trainers come to my program, they're amazed that they see the same teachers year after year. Our environment is very consistent and concise. Teachers always know where they stand, and they have a routine to rely on. It helps to keep teacher retention up. Keeping the same teachers year after year allows them to accept the vision of the program because you never change. The consistency on your part is key as their leader. Can you let me know in the chat box if your organization meets regularly? Thanks. Regarding staff meetings, you may say that your team is scattered throughout multiple counties and that it would be impossible to meet face-to-face weekly. So let's look at some ideas that can assist you. I like to send out weekly newsletters. These newsletters always have 2 photos in them that include student, teacher, and/or program achievement. In the distribution list, I include all teachers, consortium members, community partners, and really anyone I meet and feel would benefit from hearing our news. I have subsections in the newsletter that discuss daily activities, focuses, challenges, and reflections. I also have a sidebar menu that tells you who to go to for keys, lesson plans, and the like. You can email me, and I will send you a copy of what we do here, and I'll give you my email here at the end of the presentation. If you're unable to meet face-to-face weekly as we do, and you can at least send out newsletters and surveys, you are well on your way to great communication and collaboration. You need collaboration. Without collaboration, there is resistance from your staff, and with resistance comes chaos and poor retention. If you cannot meet face-to-face, then maybe you can Skype. How about developing a class in Blackboard where you can lead your group in discussions? Where there is a will, there is a way. Retention isn't just going to happen because you have good teachers. Make these meetings a part of your staff schedules and make it required. And remember, the Remind app can also help with communication, and it's free. We offer intense classes for immigrants with degrees from other countries. We bring in the local workforce staff to discuss labor market data and career information, We also offer them Microsoft Office classes. These classes are challenging as our audience are English language learners who are reading all of the Microsoft suites in English. Students are learning that this process takes time and several years. We are seeing a stronger commitment from our students to return for more training as a result of bringing in this certification program. We provide transitions classes for students who are interested in post-secondary education, career training, or employment. Students have a syllabus and are guided by the Career Navigator, who is also one of my teachers doing double duty, with college applications, financial aid, tours, and job fairs. We bring in many local colleges and career training facilities to meet with them. We have Microsoft Office certification classes with contextualized instruction and job readiness activities provided by the local Workforce Solutions staff for both ELLs and HSE students at an intermediate level or better. We also offer digital literacy classes that are called IC3 GS5 from Certiport to prepare the low intermediate language learners for Microsoft. This class is also challenging for the English language learner, but it really helps them have that goal of staying as they have to pass 4 tests to receive the digital literacy certification. Many ELLs say, I want to learn computers, so this is a good way to lure them in and keep them for the whole year and beyond. We provide distance learning for high school equivalency students through Plato. We use Plato because it's cheaper than most of the other services out there, and it is a very rigorous curriculum. We also have distance learning for our English language learners through Burlington English. Some programs are top-heavy with coordinators and data clerks, so try to budget your program to be able to acquire more instructional opportunities for your students. I don't know if this is a good time to stop and answer questions, if anyone has any questions.
All right, if anyone has any questions, just type them in the chat pod, and we'll see if Debbie can answer them. At this point, she has a few more slides, but just wanted to give an opportunity for y'all to ask some questions. Thank you for your input. Thank you for those of y'all that are answering her questions as she has gone along. Okay, Ellen is asking, Dr. Alfred, do you survey students, and how often?
We do survey them at orientation, and then we do additional surveys throughout the year depending on, let's say we want to start a new IET program, then that's when we send out surveys to find out what the students are interested in, and we go from there.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Thank you, Dr. Alfred. Okay, I don't see any other questions, so carry on.
All right.
Wait, we have one more question. Sorry.
Okay.
Ellen asks, how do you handle wait lists?
How do I handle wait lists?
Like, do you have a waiting list for students, and if so, how do you handle that?
So we don't have a waiting list anymore because Anson Green told me I couldn't have one when I met him 4 years ago. We used to have wait lists here all the time. So what I do is I don't have cohorts in my program. My subcontracts that have my IETs, those do have cohorts, but I have open enrollment. So what happens is I do have 3 mass enrollments for the 3 semesters that we're in. After the 2 weeks of mass registration, we have people call the office, and my receptionist schedules them the following day. So we just keep it going all the way.
Okay, great. And we do have another question before we get going. Are your staff full-time or part-time?
Okay, I have 13 full-time staff, and the rest are all part-time.
Okay, and so the rest, meaning most of your teachers are part-time?
Correct. Yeah, I only have part-time teachers. All the other people are full-time.
Okay, great. That's a good question, and I'm glad you answered that because I think you planned in your budget to have the staff meeting time and that kind of thing, planning time, and that's important, and that obviously helps you be successful.
Right.
Okay, all right. That's all the questions we have right now, Dr. Alfred, if you want to continue.
Okay, and I will go ahead and elaborate on that. When I can, I do pay my part-time staff 19 hours because that's our maximum here in the school district. And so when they're teaching, 3 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, I am also paying them an additional hour a day for planning Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday so that I'm not completely robbing them on Fridays of their time. So it gives us 3 hours every Friday to meet. Okay, so one of the reasons the students enjoy our program is we do a lot of celebrating here, and we all know adults love to celebrate. So like I was saying a few minutes ago, we do operate in 3 semesters, and at the end of each semester, we have a celebration in each class with certificates. Those who made gains receive a certificate of completion for the level that they were in. and those who are pending a game receive a certificate of participation. The students bring food, sometimes they meet at a restaurant, and believe me when I say, it does make a big deal to them. Each teacher does this in his or her classroom, or like I said, they do go to a restaurant at times. The teacher looks through their student data to determine who will receive which certificate, and our lead teachers run off the certificates for them. We also provide perfect attendance awards, perfect attendance trophies. I mean, we do whatever we can to reward. Teachers here will give students their phone numbers, email addresses, or a link to an app where they can communicate, like the Remind app or WhatsApp. If a student stops coming to class, the teacher will go looking for them at home. If they know where the student works, they go to their job and speak to them. Sometimes you may need to go to the student to test them. Here, we do whatever it takes to get that student tested. Hold a graduation ceremony. Let the students know it's coming. That way they'll stay and they'll want to be a part of it. We buy all the gowns with our budget from recruitment and loan them out at every ceremony. Try to hold a ceremony where the families can attend. This year we included certified students along with high school equivalency students. It was the first time we had ever done that. Our graduation program had different symbols to indicate what each student was being recognized for. We also included different colored cords. In this picture, the graduate is a GED graduate. GED had silver cords. We also bought their 2018 tassels as part of our recruitment and let them keep them. They love that. We also bought pens that say I got my GED at ACE and I got certified at ACE and provided them to each student at graduation. Another thing I would like to mention is that we do seek donations to pay for the GED test. This year we had over $1,000 given to us. Our ceremony is very special as the teachers are on the stage and the students get to stand with their teachers and take pictures, and everyone just has a great time. We take all of their photos and I personally place all of them on our Facebook page. As many of you know, in adult education, we are limited with our staff and we all wear many hats. And one of mine is social media account manager. I handle all of our accounts. It doesn't always cost money to have an article in the local newspaper. If you have job fairs or you do project-based learning like I do, invite the local newspaper in to do an article. If you have a success story, send the photo in along with a story as a courtesy copy to the local education staff writer, and they'll put it in the newspaper for free. I always hold an annual event of some kind. I've had students do recipe books. I've had them write short stories. I've had them work on careers and make project boards. I've had career fairs, and I make a big deal about all of these things. I invite local dignitaries as guest speakers, and I make a big deal about it so that the students feel important, that they have been recognized for what they have done, and they feel motivated to keep coming. How many of you have stories that you can send to the media? Can you let me know in the chat? We currently have a Facebook page and a Twitter page, and we hope to bring in an Instagram page as well. These social media sites allow us to constantly showcase our students' achievements. Teachers and students send in photos, and we take a bunch, as you can see, and I post everything on the pages. It is a lot of work, but it's worth it when the students are constantly liking the post, commenting, and sharing it. It makes them feel special and allows their family and friends to see what they are doing. We had about 62 students participate in graduation last week, and I posted each and every one of the pictures on Facebook with their information. It can get stressful at times, and you can easily get behind in your posts, but they are very happy when they're able to see that, and their friends and family are super happy as well. And I see that a lot of you are doing Facebook and Instagram, and that's really awesome because the students really value that. Just some reminders. Be good to your staff. Give them the tools to be successful. Get their input. Treat them with respect. Be firm, be fair, but be fun, and celebrate them. My office staff often pitches in to have luncheons for our teachers. I invite guest speakers, and we give them door prizes. We have a small budget from the school district, and that is what we use to buy them goodies such as umbrellas, cups, and lunch bags during Teacher Appreciation Week. I invite local school board members, county employees, and state dignitaries to eat with us and speak to them to continuously make them feel important. We have a Thanksgiving luncheon and a Christmas luncheon where the office staff pitches in and brings different dishes to the luncheon. The teachers never bring anything. We are always treating them. We also have a luncheon in May at the end of Teacher Appreciation Week. Don't forget to celebrate your students. Aside from certificates, graduation ceremonies, and media, we also barbecue for our students. We hold attendance competitions, and at the end of the semester, the class with the best attendance wins a barbecue. We're very lucky. We have nice weather over here, and we cook out for them and sit outside and eat, and we have a lot of fun. If you don't take the time to thank people, you have lost. I also try to lunch with my office staff to make them feel valued as well. I am the only director in my program. I'm the only administrator here. I supervise 55 teachers and 65 classes throughout the day. I only have 2 lead teachers to help me supervise the teachers and students. So you have to reward people and make them feel valued for people to want to stay. I average about 1 resignation per year, and it's usually due to a part-time teacher getting a full-time job elsewhere. So everyone in adult education and literacy plays many roles in the lives of our adult students. A teacher becomes friend, counselor, mentor, and coach to their students. As directors, we become cheerleaders, coaches, friends, counselors, and facilitators to our staff. We don't have all the answers to the demands of adult education and literacy, but we try really, really hard. So, what's your superpower? You are capable of so much. Release your fears and go for it. That is me in the center between my 2 lead teachers. We're a tiny little staff for a lot of students and teachers, but we believe and we achieve. It is just my personality that I am very naturally driven. I am a little bit creative, so every time Anson Green and TWC and WIOA puts out a challenge or says they want us to now do employer partnerships, or now they want you to do an IET, and now you need to get those ESL students a GED, well, I have to find a way, and I work really hard trying to come up with ideas. So you probably thought you were going to come in today and see a step-by-step process of what we do here to keep our students coming, but as you can see, it's really just a group effort. Here, I rely on my staff a lot. The teachers here believe in the vision, and we work really hard to sell it to our students and to make them feel valued and to have fun. And really it's about having fun and celebrating along the way, but setting boundaries, kind of like you do with your own family. If you need anything, my phone number is there, my email address is there, and I'll be glad to send anything that you would like copies of. I love to share, and I love to help other people, and I thank everyone for inviting me today and for hearing what I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alfred, very much. You've had some great tips here, and I think you hit on a key thing, that if your staff are excited and the excitement comes from the top, then that excitement and the buy-in from your staff filters down to your students and makes them feel valued and important, and they want to be in class. I think that's very valuable. We do have one more question in the chat pod I see for you. Do any students ever come back to be mentors or as guest speakers?
We haven't had anyone come back as a mentor, but we do bring them back to be guest speakers once they've gone on and achieved certain goals. We do, the teachers do keep track. After the students leave, a lot of them form a lot of good bonds and kind of friendship type relationships. Mm-hmm. And we do invite them back in to talk about where they're at and what they're doing and to encourage all the other students. So yes.
Great, great. That's a great idea. Thank you. And any other questions? I see several of you have posted that you have county-wide graduations. You get your media involved. You have Facebook pages. Shelley Sievers has a feature called Program Pride with that she writes about for her students. So, okay, great. I don't see any other questions. So I thank you so much, Dr. Alfred. You've done great.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. And if you think of any more questions for her, that's fine. We can answer them at the end. Oh, we have one more, I see. from Liz Moya, how do you manage your donations since you're an ISD?
Yeah, good question. So that was kind of tricky. A couple of years ago, we started getting businesses that wanted to donate. So I went to the school district's finance department because I don't have my own bookkeeper, and I told them what we wanted to do. So finance created an account for us to where I place the funds into the account, and they send the check to the GED program, and the GED program turns around and provides us vouchers. So each voucher is assigned an ID number, and I have a student fill out an application and explain to me why they are worthy of this scholarship. And once I approve it, we assign a voucher, and the student is able to take one section of the GED test with that voucher.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so now we're ready to move on to Eliza Diaz with Southwest Texas Junior College. Eliza, you're up.
Eliza, this is Anne Marie. Just hold on 1 minute. I'm going to get you the presenter rights, and we'll go ahead and get started. And I'm going to go ahead and unmute you now. Eliza, can you hear us?
Yes, can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, now my only problem is I cannot get to my notes, and I think it may be because I logged in twice, so when I go to notes, I don't have the option for the PowerPoint anymore. We lost service here at Southwest Texas Junior College for a little bit. So can you give the rights to the...
Let me see if I can see. Okay, so I gave the rights. I think I know what I did. Hold on just a minute, and I will, I think I know what I did. So hold on, let's do this instead. And you're going to have presenter rights in just a minute. Now look, do you have them now?
Got it, yes.
Okay, so go back to your PowerPoint though.
Okay.
Other tab, move, look up at the top, and there you go.
Got it. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eliza Diaz, and I will be presenting today on our Adult Education and Literacy program here at Southwest Texas Junior College. Just a little bit about myself before we get started. I do have 20 years in education, with the bulk of those being in K-12 education. I was a teacher, curriculum coordinator, and I spent the last 10 years as a campus administrator, assistant principal, and principal at all grade levels, elementary, middle, and high school. And then I went ahead and applied for a job here with the junior college as director of adult education, and I've been here a little over a year. And I have quickly learned the importance of recruitment and retention, and I'm glad to be able to share information about our program with you all. We all have so much that we can learn from one another. So I'm going to begin by just telling you a little bit about our program. We service the Middle Rio Grande workforce area. Approximately 1,000 students are served on a yearly basis. We cover 9 counties, very rural, very spread out. And what we offer is the HSE class to prepare students for their GED, ESL, the workplace literacy. We offer a reentry program for a correctional facility, IET, and then we offer 2 transition courses, one as a TSI prep, and then another that was developed this year locally, which we called Next Steps. And I will be going into a little bit more detail of that class a little bit later on in the program. So in order to truly focus on retention, we really had to have a paradigm shift for all involved in adult education. Successful retention of our students doesn't just fall under one person's responsibility. Everybody had to get involved. Students need to feel that it's never too late. However, this feeling can only be brought about if the teachers, the administrators, the coaches, and all other roles exemplify that we're here for them. We're here to ensure their success. But it does have to be a two-way street, and that's where it can be challenging. Our program was suffering from the here today, gone tomorrow. And so we had to make sure that that didn't exist anymore. So we were looking for some R&R, And although many people see R&R as rest and relaxation, our R&R really focused on recruitment and retention. So we really focused on making sure that students also had the commitment of being in our program. We explained this expectation on the type of commitment we need from day one. So what I did is I was putting my program together. We said the objective was going to be to provide and examine strategies that create a positive culture to motivate and retain all learners. We share with our students our academy model, which I know is new for all of us, and so we really focus on two academies in our small program. We have a Life Skills Academy and our College and Career Readiness Academy. In meeting with students, we look at wherever they start. They know that that's not the stopping point. For example, if our students are in the Life Skills Academy, which is where our ESL language support classes are held, they're fully informed that the expectation is that once they become adept in the English language, they are to move on into the HSE class and begin to prepare for their GED. It is always explained that our focus is to help them improve their life, and that education can be the key to open many doors. And so we aim to move them into post-secondary education or workforce training. So we want them to continue on this slide to promote growth, to continue to promote growth. If you look at our information, you can see that the data that we have is above the statewide average. And although this slide here shows that our enrollment was not at 100%, this was as of April, and so we now have hit our mark. So you can see that our program has met all its targets, and even more so, we are above the state average. And then you have our slide for our IET and our transitions. Two key factors to retention are the IET classes and the transitions. We encourage students from both the ESL classes and the HSE classes to participate in these classes, and we have integrated them into part of the class. We have a new class called Next Steps, and like I said, we're almost there, and I'll go through that in just a minute. So when I meet with our staff, we talk about what is it that needs to happen in order to retain adult learners in our program. And so we came up with something that we all know is buy-in, but we took each letter of the words in buy-in and said, okay, how can we get this? We need to have buy-in from all stakeholders. That is truly vital, and there are many ways that this can be achieved. We start first with the B. We need to make sure that students realize that we believe in them from the very beginning. The Adult Education Program is part of the Pathways Institute here at Southwest Texas Junior College. This allows for our students to be fully integrated into the college. They belong to Southwest Texas Junior College. They receive their college ID. They have access to all facilitators, and they even have the opportunity to meet with college advisors throughout our enrollment process. Early on, we established the importance of communication with the adult learner, and this is where we kick off our reward system. As students complete the enrollment verification process, they earn tickets. Students can also earn tickets for consecutive days of attendance for participating in community events. The Southwest Texas Junior College Outreach Program provides us with the giveaway items, such as T-shirts, koozies, backpacks, pins, all with the Southwest Texas Junior College logo. Again, instilling in our students that they are part of the college. This is the form that we use as our verification form for student orientation. We provide them with an Admit 1 ticket for every phase that they complete. And as students complete the phases, their names then go into the raffle for those great prizes. We also make sure that we go the extra step. It's so very important that our students know we miss them when they're not in class. As stated earlier in one of the other slides, teachers are required to submit logs. Those logs indicate who has been absent and if they have made contact with them to find out why they were absent. After 3 consecutive absences, a representative from our program does a home visit. We leave this urgent disconnection notice on the door. It definitely catches their attention, and we typically hear back from them with an explanation. You'll notice that it's bright red, so our students will come back and they'll tell us, "You scared us. We didn't know what was being disconnected." And so this definitely catches their attention, and they're quick to call us. As I had mentioned before, adult education is part of Southwest Texas Junior College. I recently attended training on the Pathways Institute with a team from the college. We are continuing to build strong relationships. Students are officially enrolled in college. They do get their ID card. They do have access to events and resources. And upcoming this summer, we are looking at integrating the AEL courses in the college catalog and then having the registration occur in partnership with the college. It is important for a program to reflect on what's working and what is bringing in results. These are just several things to think about. As directors, it's important to remember that this does not fall on us alone. We hold weekly site meetings and monthly program meetings. We share our activities for recruitment and retention, as well as get feedback from the teachers. So take a few minutes and just reflect on what are some of the things your program does in regards to retention, and what are some of those things that you can change or improve. There's a question there that says, does your classes meet on the college campus? Yes. Our classes do meet at the college campus. So they walk the college halls. They go to the library with our HSC teachers. They are very much integrated into the college. And we truly feel that that does help our students feel welcome and feel like they are a part of something larger than just adult education.
And Eliza, there's a couple of questions that were up in the chat pod a little bit ago.
Okay.
You could answer them. How do you identify what IET or training students are best suited for, which classes they're suited for, and when do you start identifying this, and what types of training is available to them? That's a three-part question.
And there's another slide specifically on IET, so I'm going to hold that question,
Great.
And then if I don't answer it, then we can come back to it, but I do have a slide specifically to IETs.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so our next letter in buy-in, okay, so we start from the beginning, and we also have to have some true understanding of who are adult learners, because we know that they are non-traditional students. Something in their life has prompted them to return to school. However, we know that they're busy with work, their families, and of course they're anxious about being here. For the adult learner, learning truly has to be relevant. It's important to train the teachers to acknowledge the experiences and education that the students bring to the classroom. Teachers must motivate them to be role models for their children, and therefore encouraging them to continue on into their education. I think Dr. Alford also mentioned building relationships, and that's really what we're talking about here with the U in understanding, making sure that we build those relationships with our students. So what can be done to acknowledge the non-traditional students? And we know that IETs do play a big role in the retention of students because we have to prepare them for the workforce. Some of the things that we do, okay, are we do hold an open house. We have a fall and spring open house. Adult students bring their spouse, their children, other friends and family. This also helps with recruitment. So we feel like the two kind of fall in together. We participate in community events such as parades, and we have a very strong partnership with our Mexican consulate. Our Mexican consulate allowed us to apply for a grant, which we did receive. Through this grant, we are able to pay for their GED tests, which is a huge help for many of our students. This is also a time where we provide program T-shirts, and all of this is done to truly build a sense of community. We do participate in the Adult National Honor Society program, and we also hold graduations, just as many of you had also mentioned that you do. We invite family and friends, we have guest speakers, and we include members, program members from the junior college, and they set up tables so that they right then and there they can get information regarding transition into the post-secondary education. So here's just a slide that shows some of the things that we do. After graduation, they can go straight to talk to someone in financial aid. They can go straight to talk to someone in admissions. Somebody else had also mentioned, do you include students as guest speakers? And you'll see on the bottom right there that we actually do include we select 2 students to give an address to the people that are in attendance at the graduation and as well to their classmates. The Y stands for you, and it's not just the you as in the staff of adult education, but the you as in the students as well, that we can all do more. You can do more, and advising is the key. Students meet with their administrators of the program, whether it's the supervisor, the assessors, the advisor, or the Career Pathways Navigator. They talk to them about IET classes, the contextualized class, which they take in conjunction with an IET class, the transition classes, TSI and Next Steps, the workplace literacy class, the reentry class, and then we, of course, include technology in the classroom. The Next Steps class is a class that was developed locally, and it was implemented this year. And it's truly a class to help students on their journey. During Next Steps class, AEL students develop a relationship with a site counselor from the college. So they are assigned a college advisor from the Educational Opportunity Center, and that counselor comes and visits with them, and they are given information about filling out the college application, how to write a resume, how to do interview skills, how to complete the FAFSA, and then they're even given a preview into TSI. So it just truly gives them an overview on what the next steps can be once they finish the adult education program. The I in buy-in, we're looking at innovation and inspiration. So adult learners have to have a program that meets their needs. We make sure that it's something that's engaging. We make sure that it's interactive. You can walk into a teacher's classroom and you see them using their active boards and they're using Kahoot. It's very technology-driven. So we provide just different types of instructional opportunities. We do have some non-negotiables. There is a student handbook. We also run a very tight ship. You know, there's lots of attendance policies in place, and all those policies are explained to our students at the beginning. We want to make sure that students see the end as something that they can achieve. We provide them with goal settings and different maps, and then we celebrate progress along the way. I know there was a question on IETs, and I think I went over it very quickly, so I'm going to go back to that question. As far as how do we identify IETs, we do have student surveys. So our Career Pathways Navigator meets with their classes, and they complete career interest inventories and student surveys, and then based on the results that come up, we match those with some of the jobs, some of the trainings that we're allowed to offer. Currently, we offer the Certified Nurses Aid class, and we offer the Microsoft Office Specialist class, and then we offered the Retail class because those were things that did come up quite a bit. The Contextualized Instruction class is the class that goes in conjunction because we do offer it to both our ESL students and our HSE students. So the Contextualized Instruction class has its own teacher and truly helps our English language learners with some of the intense vocabulary that is required. They do have to score certain levels on the TABE in order for them to be able to register for that class. I hope that answered the question.
We'll see. Elena asked that question, so if you have a follow-up, Elena, to that, she says yes. Great. Thank you, Eliza.
And then somebody asked about the Adult National Honor Society.
Yes.
We are part of the Alamo Consortium, and so they were the ones that provided us with the information where there is actually a National Honor Society for Adult Education, and you can nominate students for that, and then you can have a ceremony and they print certificates, and it was a very, very nice ceremony. This was the first year that we participated in it. I will put my email here on the chat, and if you email me, I can send you the link for that, for the Adult National Honor Society. Oh, there it is. Sorry.
It's on there, yes.
Somebody already beat me to it.
Lori Dorsey provided that for us, yes.
Oh.
Thank you, Lori.
Okay, then I'm just kind of scrolling through my chat here to see if there was any more questions, but I think that we're good. I will still go ahead because I did not do a slide with my information, so I am putting it on the chat right now. And so if you go back through the slides, because I did go through them kind of quickly, and you're like, oh, I wish you would have elaborated more on this, please feel free to email me. It is a learning curve that we're on right now. Like I said, having spent 1 year with our program, we're always looking for ways to improve it. I'm always looking for ways to improve what I'm doing as well. So it's really all about working together as a team.
Thank you, Eliza. We really appreciate your presentation. It was great, and there was a lot of great information in there, a lot of new things I hadn't heard either, so really appreciate those ideas. And Eliza, if you would type your email in the chat pod, please. We have someone requesting that. Here's a question that came in: how to retain students that stop coming during the holidays, like November, December, for overtime on the job? Do either of you, Dr. Alford or Eliza, have thoughts on that?
So we do see a lot of that. We see where they stop coming, not only for their because they're going to work overtime, but we also see where they stop coming when their students are on holiday, so when their children are on holiday. So I think it's just a matter of we do a lot of communication and reminding them that it's okay to come back, because I think that a lot of our adult learners say, oh, I already missed a week, or I already missed 2 weeks, I don't know if I can go back. So we send postcards, we make phone calls, and like I said, we do end up doing home visits, so that way we don't lose those students and they know that they can come back. We understand that if there's an opportunity to make more money, yes, they're going to take it, and we just let them know that we understand that, but we still want them to come back.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same with us over here. We don't drop anyone. I know that's a little bit different from a lot of the other programs, but I don't have a policy to where I drop students for attendance. So they know that they can always come back. We do see them leaving during the holidays, but over the years it's gotten really better. I think because we are offering more variety for the students, they're really liking it and enjoying it, and not wanting to lose their place, because they know that there's somebody else that's ready to take their spot. So.
And then as far as who does the home visit, it's typically not the teacher. Like I said, I have site supervisors at all our sites, and so a site supervisor will build into their schedule time to go out and do home visits. Yeah, no, my staff goes out there two at a time. They take a buddy with them, and they go to the place of employment. We've even tested students at their place of employment. We have waiters and waitresses. We know where they're at. We talk to their bosses. We explain the importance of what's going on, and it gets done. So that's why I said earlier, where there's a will, there's a way. And when you're limited in staff like we are, we're a tiny little ISD consortium, you have to be very creative with how you're going to use your staff and how you're going to get things done.
Great ideas, both of you. Thanks so much. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I want to thank everyone for joining us. It's been a great hour, and a few of you, I want to mention again that we will have these PowerPoints available once we do our post-production activities, and it may take a few weeks to get that done. This will become an online portal course for use for PD credit later, and then we'll post the PowerPoints into the community of practice called Program Managers under Manager Monday. It will let you know when those are ready. So thank you all so much for joining us today. It's been a great Monday. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you both, Dr. Alfred and Eliza. You did a great job.
Thank you.